Hi, it's Kevin Lobates here, and today I want to talk about NFTs and the persistence problem with the associated metadata and image file. And I'm talking here in particular about collectible NFTs and art NFTs. Now, there is a problem in conventional collectibles. If you buy a baseball card and it happens to be printed on rather bad cardboard or with rather poor quality ink, or you keep it on a window ledge in the full sunshine, then the collectible will degrade over time. The material it's printed on can disintegrate, the inks can fade, and collectors know this, so they store their baseball cards or their comic books in plastic envelopes in dark, well-conditioned vaults rather than leaving them lying around on the window ledge. And art NFTs and collectible NFTs have a similar kind of problem, which is that if the metadata and the image data can no longer be retrieved from the internet, then you are left with a row in a spreadsheet instantiated on a blockchain that you own and control, but that points to absolutely nothing. And given that NFTs are in the collectibles and art world are all about them pointing to the metadata in the image file, that is a bad state of affairs. Now, there is a solution to this. So the persistence problem boils down to the fact that if your metadata and image file are stored on a conventional web server, then they are stored by location. It's as if the NFT says, go to this place and you will find the metadata in the image file. And if that place at some point later in time no longer exists because the company running the server has failed to pay for its domain name fee, or because they have shut down the server, or they've just gone bankrupt and their equipment is no longer running, well, then you've got the problem that your information is no longer available and the NFT has become even less useful than it was to begin with. And the solution that is touted for this is the use of the Interplanetary File System, or the IPFS. And this is because the IPFS doesn't address files by location, it addresses them by content. And that means that anybody can host a file on their own IPFS server, and it can then be found by other servers and clients on the network, regardless of where it is stored. What you do is you say, I want this file which can be found because it has this content, and then the nodes go and retrieve it, or rather look across the entire peer-to-peer network to see who's got it and then retrieve it. Which doesn't, however, guarantee persistence either. If there isn't a single IPFS file server out there that has a copy of your NFT's metadata and image file, then it cannot be retrieved. But there is one big advantage of the IPFS, and that is that you, as the NFT owner, can take steps to ensure that your metadata and your image file persist. And the solution is very simple. When you purchase an NFT, if you think it's going to be valuable, download a copy of the metadata file and download a copy of the image and store them somewhere. Put them on a USB stick, burn them onto a DVD, and put them in a safe or the drawer of your desk or something like that. Make several copies. And this means that if at a later date the IPFS no longer has a copy of your metadata and your image file, you can personally upload them again. Either set up your own IPFS server, and it's not that hard to be honest, or if it's beyond your technical abilities, pay some other company that has a hosting service for IPFS files and upload your files there, and magically your NFT will then work again. When some application tries to display it, it will search for the metadata file and the image file, and because you have ensured that they are still available by uploading them again, they will be found, and your NFT artwork or collectible drawing will once again display. So the IPFS doesn't ensure continuous persistence, but at least it gives you a solution whereby if your files disappear, you can put them back again and then they will reappear, which you can't do when it comes to a third-party web server run by some other company or business or person, because they then have control over that server, and it's up to them to ensure whether or not your NFT persists. And if they don't care, they might well not bother, or even if they can't care because they no longer exist. Anyway, a brief discussion on NFTs and the persistence of the artwork and how it compares to the issues faced by collectibles in the real world. Hope you all found that interesting, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.